ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1. The Advent of Lord Krishna. Introduction. Shri Rajavacha Katito Vamshavistaro Bhavata Soma Suryayoho Rajñam Chobayo Vamshanam Charitam Paramadbhutam. King Parikshit said, "My dear Lord, you have elaborately described the dynasties of both the moon god and the sun god with the exalted and wonderful character of their kings. यदोश्च धर्मशीलस्य नितरामुनिसत्तमः तत्रांशने तत्रांशेनावतीर्णस्य विष्णोर्वीर्याणि संशनः." O best of Munis, you have also described the descendants of Yadu, who were very pious and strictly adherent to religious principles. Now, if you will, kindly describe the wonderful, glorious activities of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, who appeared in that Yadu dynasty with Balarama, his plenary expansion. अवतीर्य यदोर्वंशे भगवान् भूत भावनः कृतवान् यानि विश्वात्मा तानि नो वद विस्तरात्. The supreme.
Prabhu, you're on mute, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay, let me repeat this verse 3. अवतीर्य यदोर्वंशे भगवान् भूतभावनः कृतवान् यानि विश्वात्मा तानि नो वद विस्तरात्. The Super Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, the cause of the cosmic manifestation, appeared in the dynasty of Yadu. Please tell me elaborately about his glorious activities and character from the beginning to the end of his life. निवृत्ततर्षैर् उपगीयमानात् भवौषधाच्छोत मनोभिरामात् का उत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादात् पुमान् विरज्येत विना पशुघ्नात्. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Parampara system, that is, it is conveyed from the spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false, temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? Pitamaha me samare maranjaner देवव्रताद्यातिरथैः तिमिग्गीलैः दुरत्ययं कौरवसैन्यसागरं कृत्वा तरं वत्सपदं स्म प्लवः प्लवाः द्रौण्यस्त्रविप्लुष्टम् इदम् अङ्गं सन्तानबीजं कुरु पाण्डवानां जुगोपकुक्षिं गत आत्तचक्रो मातुश्च मे यः शरणं गतायाः. वीर्याणि तस्याखिल देहभाजाम् अन्तर्बहिस्पुरुषकालरूपैः प्रयच्छतो मृत्युम् उत्तामृतं च मायामनुष्यस्य वदस्व विद्वन्. Taking the boat of Lord Krishna's lotus feet, my grandfather Arjuna and others crossed the ocean of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in which such commanders as Bhishma Deva resembled great fish that could very easily have swallowed them. By the mercy of Lord Krishna, my grandfathers crossed this ocean, which was very difficult to cross, as easily as one steps over the hoof print of a calf. Because my mother surrendered unto Lord Krishna's lotus feet, the Lord, Sudarshana Chakra in hand, entered his womb and saved my body, the body of the last remaining descendant of the Kurus and the Pandavas, which was almost destroyed by the fiery weapon of Ashwatthama. Lord Sri Krishna, appearing within and outside of all materially embodied living beings by his own potency in the form of eternal time, that is, as Paramatma and as Virata Rupa, gave liberation to everyone either as cruel death or as life. Kindly enlighten me by describing his transcendental characteristics. रोहिण्यस्तनयः प्रोक्तो रामसङ्कर्षणस्त्वया देवक्यां गर्भसम्बन्ध कुतो देहान्तरं विना. My dear Sukadeva Goswami, you have already explained that Sankarshana, who belongs to the second quadruple, appeared as a son of Rohini named Balarama. If Balarama was not transferred from one body to another, how is it possible that he was first in the womb of Devaki and then in the womb of Rohini? Kindly explain this to me. कस्मान् मुकुन्दो भगवान् पितुर्गेहाद् व्रजं गतः क्वं क्व वासं ज्ञातिभिः सार्धं कृतवान् सात्वतां पतिः. Why did Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, leave the house of his father Vasudeva and transfer himself to the house of Nanda in Vrindavan? Where did the Lord, the master of the Yadu dynasty, live with his relatives in Vrindavana? वज्रे वसन् किम् अकरोन् मधुपुर्यां च केशवः भ्रातरं चावदीत् कंसं मातुरद्धातद् अर्हणम्. Lord Krishna lived both in Vrindavan and in Mathura. What did he do there? Why did he kill Kamsa, his mother's brother? Such killing is not at all sanctioned in the Shastras. देहं मानुषमाश्रित्य कतिवर्षाणि वर्ष्णिभिः यदुपुर्यां सहावासित् पत्न्या कत् अभव प्रभोः. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has no material body, yet he appears as a human being. For how many years did he live with the descendants of Vrishni? How many wives did he marry? And for how many years did he live in Dwaraka? एतदन्यच्च सर्वं मे मुने कृष्ण विचेष्टितं वक्तुम् अर्हसि सर्वज्ञ श्रद्धदानाय विस्मृतम्. O great sage, who know everything about Krishna, please describe in detail all the activities of which I have inquired and also those of which I have not, for I have full faith and am very eager to hear of them. नैषातिदुःसह क्ष्णुन्मां त्यक्तोदम् अपि बाधते पिबन्तं त्वं मुखाम्भोज च्युत हरे kathamritam. Because of my woe on the verge of death, I have given up even drinking water. Yet, because I am drinking the nectar of topics about Krishna, which is flowing from the lotus mouth of your Lordship, my hunger and thirst, which are extremely difficult to bear, cannot hinder me. Sutavacha evam nisamya brunandasa nandana sadhuvadam vaya sakhitsa bhagavan atha vishnuраतं प्रत्याच्य कृष्णचरितं कलिकल्मषघ्नं व्याहर्तुम् आरभत भागवतः प्रधानः. Suta Goswami said, O son of Bhrigu, after Shukadeva Goswami, the most respectable devotee, the son of Vyasadeva, heard the pious questions of Maharaj Parikshit, he thanked the king with great respect. Then he began to discourse on topics concerning Krishna, which are the remedy for all sufferings in this age of Kali. Shri Sukha Samyak Vyavastita Buddhis तव राजर्षि सत्तम वासुदेव कथायां ते यज्जात नैष्टिकीरतैः. Srila Sukadeva Goswami said, O your majesty, best of all saintly kings, because you are greatly attracted to the topics of Vasudeva, it is certain that your intelligence is firmly fixed in spiritual understanding, which is the only true goal for humanity. Because that attraction is unceasing, it is certainly sublime. वासुदेवकथा प्रश्न पुरुषां त्रीन् पुनाति हि वक्तारं व्रच व्रच्छकं श्रोत्रंस् तत्पादसलिलं यथा. The Ganges, emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu, purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary system. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, three varieties of men are purified: the speaker or preacher, he who inquires, and the people in general who listen. भूमे दृप्त नृपव्याज दैत्यानीक सतायु तैः आक्रान्ता भूरिभारेण भारेण ब्राह्मणं शरणं ययौ. Once, when Mother Earth was overburdened by hundreds of thousands of military phalanx of various conceited demons dressed like kings, she approached Lord Brahma for relief. गौर भूत्वा श्रुमुखी खिन्ना क्रन्दन्ति करुणं विभोः उपस्थितान्तिके तस्मै व्यसनं समवोचत. Mother Earth assumed the form of a cow. Very much distressed, with tears in her eyes, she appeared before Lord Brahma and told him about her misfortune. Brahma tat upadaryata sahadevaitaya saha Jagama Satri Nayanas Tiram Kshira Payonidehe. Thereafter, having heard of the distress of Mother Earth, Lord Brahma with Mother Earth, Lord Shiva, and all the other demigods approached the shore of the ocean of milk. तत्र गत्वा जगन्नाथं देवदेवं वृषाकपिं पुरुषं पुरुषः सूक्तेन उपतेष्ठ उपते उपतास्ते समाहितः. After reaching the shore of the ocean of milk, the demigods worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the Master of whole universe, the Supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. With great attention, they worshipped Lord Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk, by reciting Vedic mantras known as Purusha Sukta. Giram Samado Gagane Samiritam निशम्य वेदास्त्रिदशाम् उवाचः गां पौरुषीं मे शृणुतामराः पुनर्विधीयताम् आशु तथैव माचिरम्. While in trance, Lord Brahma heard the words of Lord Vishnu vibrating in the sky. Thus he told the demigods, O demigods, hear from me the order of Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, the Supreme Person, and execute it attentively without delay. पुरैव पुंसावधृतोद्धराज्वरो भवद्भिरंशैर्यदुसूपजान्यतां स यावत् उर्व्या भरम् ईश्वरेश्वर स्वकालशक्त्या क्षपयंश्चरेद्भुवि. Lord Brahma informed the demigods, before we submitted our petition to the Lord, He was already aware of the distress on earth. Consequently, for as long as the Lord moves on earth to diminish its burden by His own potency in form of time, all of you demigods should appear through plenary portions as sons and grandsons in the family of the Yadus. वसुदेवगृहे साक्षात् भगवान् पुरुषः परः जनिष्यते तत्प्रियार्थं सम्भवन्तु सुरस्त्रियः. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has full potency, will personally appear as the son of Vasudeva. Therefore, all the wives of the demigod should also appear in order to satisfy him. Vasudeva Kalanantah Sahasravadana Swarat Agrato Bhavita Devo Hare Priya Chikirshaya. The foremost manifestation of Krishna is Sankarshana, who is known as Ananta. He is the origin of all incarnations within this material world. Previous to the appearance of Lord Krishna, this original Sankarshana will appear as Balarama just to please the Supreme Lord Krishna in his transcendental pastimes. Vishnurmaya Bhagavati Yaya Sammohita Jagat Adishta Prabhunam Sena Karyarte Sambhavishyati. The potency of the Lord, known as Vishnu Maya, who is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will also appear with Lord Krishna. This potency, acting in different capacities, captivates all the worlds, both material and spiritual. At the request of her master, she will appear with her different potencies in order to execute the work of the Lord. श्रीसुकौवाच इत्यादिश्यामरगणान् प्रजापतिपतिर्विभुः आश्वास्य च महीं गीर्भिः स्वदामा paramam yayo. Shukadev Goswami continued. After thus advising the demigods and pacifying Mother Earth, the very powerful Lord Brahma, who is the master of all other Prajapatis and is therefore known as Prajapatipati, returned to his own abode Brahmaloka. Suraseeno Yadupatir Mathuram Avasan Purim Mathuranch Chura Senamscha Vishayan Bubuje Pura. Formerly, Shurasena, the chief of the Yadu dynasty, had gone to live in the city of Mathura. There, he enjoyed the places known as Mathura and Shurasena. राजधानी ततः साभूत सर्वयादव भू भुजां मथुरा भगवान् यत्र नित्यं सन्निहितो हरिः. Since that time, the city of Mathura had been the capital of all the kings of the Yadu dynasty. The city and the district of Mathura are very intimately connected with Krishna, for Krishna lives there eternally. तस्यां तु कर्हिचित् क्षौरिर्वसुदेव कृतोद्वहः देवक्या सूर्यया सार्धं प्रयाणे रथम् आरुहत्. Some time ago, Vasudeva, who belonged to the demigod family or to the Suras dynasty, married Devaki. After the marriage, he mounted his chariot to return home with his newly married wife. उग्रसेन सुतः कंसः स्वसुप्रिया चिकीर्षया रंसीन् रश्मीन् हयानां जग्राह रौक्मै रथ सथैर्वृतः. Kamsa, the son of King Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki on the occasion of her marriage, took charge of the reins of the horse and became the chariot driver. He was surrounded by hundreds of golden chariots. Chatushatah paribarham gajanam hemamalinam ashwanam ahutam ayutam sardham rathanam cha trishat satam दासीनां सुकमारीणां द्वे समलङ्कृते दुहित्रे देवकः प्रादात् याने दुहृत्वत्सलः. Devaki's father, King Devaka, was very much affectionate to his daughter. Therefore, while she and her husband were leaving home, he gave her a dowry of 400 elephants, nicely decorated with golden garlands. He also gave 10,000 horses, 1,800 chariots, and 200 very beautiful young maid servants, fully decorated with ornaments. शङ्खतूर्या मृदङ्गाश्च नेदुर्दुन्दुभयः समं प्रयाणप्रक्रमे तात वरवध्वो Sumangalam. O beloved son, Maharaj Parikshit, when the bride and bridegroom were ready to start, conch shell, bugles, drums, and kettle drums all vibrated in concert for their auspicious departure. पतिप्रग्रहिणं कंसम् आद्भास्याः शरीरवाक् अस्यास्त्वाम् अष्टमो गर्भो हन्तायां वहसे बुधा. While Kamsa, controlling the reins of the horses, was driving the chariot along the way, an unembodied voice addressed him. You foolish rascal, the eighth child of the woman you are carrying will kill you. इत्युक्ता सकलः पापो भोजानां कुलपाशनः भगिनीं हन्तुम् आरब्धः खड्गपाणिः कचेग्रहीत्. Kamsa was a condemned personality in the Bhoja dynasty because he was envious and sinful. Therefore, upon hearing this omen from the sky, he caught hold of his sister's hair with his left hand and took up his sword with his right hand to sever her head from her body. तं जुगुप्सिता कर्माणं नृशंसं निरपत्रपं वसुदेवो महाभाग उवाच परिसान्त्वयन्. Wanting to pass by Kamsa, who was so cruel and envious that he was shamelessly ready to kill his sister, the great soul Vasudeva, who was to be the father of Krishna, spoke to him in the following words. Shri Vasudevacha श्लाघनीय गुणसूरैर्भवान् भोज यशस्करः स कथं भगिनीं हन्यात् स्त्रियम् उद्वाह पर्वणि. Vasudeva said, My dear brother-in-law Kamsa, you are the pride of your family, the Bhoja dynasty, and great heroes praise your qualities. How could such a qualified person as you kill a woman, your own sister, especially on the occasion of a marriage? मृत्युर्जन्मवतां वीरा देहेन सह जायते अद्य वाब्दा सतान्ते वा मृत्युर्वै प्राणिनां ध्रुवः. O great hero, one who takes birth is sure to die, for death is born with the body. One may die today or after hundreds of years, but death is sure for every living entity. देहे पञ्चत्वम् आपन्ने देहि कर्मानुगो वशः देहान्तरम् अनुप्राप्य प्राकृतन् प्राकृ sorry, प्राक्ननं त्यजते वपुः. When the present body turns to dust and is again reduced to five elements earth, water, fire, air, and ether, the proprietor of the body, the living being, automatically receives another body of material elements according to his brutal activities. When the next body is obtained, he gives up the present body. व्रजं तिष्ठन् पदैकेन यथैवैकेन गच्छति यथा तृणजलुकैवं देहि कर्म gatim gataha. Just as a person traveling on the road rests one foot on the ground and then lifts the other, or as a worm on a vegetable transfers itself to one leaf and then gives up the previous one, the conditioned soul takes shelter of another body and then gives up the one he had before. स्वप्ने यथा पश्यति देहं ईदृशं मनोरथेनाभिनिविष्टचेतनः दृष्टा श्रुताभ्यां मनसानुचिन्तयन् प्रपद्यते तत् किम् अपि हि अपस्मृतिः. Having experienced a situation by seeing or hearing about it, one contemplates and speculates about that situation and thus one surrenders to it, not considering his present body. Similarly, by mental adjustments, one dreams at night of living under different circumstances in different bodies and forgets his actual position. Under this same process, one gives up his present body and accepts another. Tatha dehantara praptihi. Hmm? Yato yato davati daiva choditam मनोविकारात्मकम् आपपञ्चषु गुणेषु मायारतिचेषु देहसौ प्रपद्यमानः सह तेन जायते. At the time of death, according to the thinking, feeling, and willing of the mind which is involved in fruitive activities, one receives a particular body. In other words, the body develops according to the activities of the mind. Changes of body are due to the flickering of the mind, for otherwise the soul could remain in its original spiritual body. Jyotir यथैवोदकपार्थिवेश्वदः समीरवेगानुगतः विभाव्यते एवं स्वमाया रचितेष्वसौ पुमान् गुणेषु रागानुगतो विमुह्यति. When the luminaries in the sky, such as the moon, the sun, and the stars, are reflected in the liquids like oil and water, they appear to be of different shapes, sometimes round, sometimes long, and so on, because of the movement of the wind. Similarly, when the living entity, the soul, is absorbed in the materialistic thoughts, he accepts various manifestations as his own identity because of ignorance. In other words, one is bewildered by the mental concoctions because of agitation from the material modes of nature. तस्मान्न कस्यचिद्रोहम् आचरेत् स तथाविदः आत्मनः क्षमम् अन्विच्छन् द्रोधुर्वै परतो भयम्. Therefore, since envious, impious activities cause a body in which one suffers in the next life, why should one act impiously? Considering one's welfare, one should not envy anyone, for an envious person must always fear harm from his enemies, either in this life or in the next life. एषा तवानुजबाला कृपणा पुत्रिकोपमा हन्तुं नार्हसि कल्याणीम् इमां त्वं दीनवत्सलः. As your younger sister, this poor girl Devaki is like your own daughter and deserves to be affectionately maintained. You are merciful and therefore you should not kill her. Indeed, she deserves your affection. Shri Sukha Uvacha Evam Sasama Birvedhair Bodhyamanopi Darunaha Na Nyavartata Kauravya Purushadan Anuvratah. Shukadev Goswami continued, O best of the Kuru dynasty, Kamsa was fiercely cruel and was actually a follower of the Rakshasas. Therefore, he could be neither pacified nor terrified by the good instructions given by Vasudeva. He did not care about the results of sinful activities either in this life or in the next. निर्बन्धं तस्य तं ज्ञात्वा विचिन्त्यान कदुन्दुभिः प्राप्तिं कालं व्योढुम् idam तत्रान्वपद्यत. When Vasudeva saw that Kamsa was determined to kill his sister Devaki, he thought to himself very deeply. Considering the imminent danger of death, he thought of another plan to stop Kamsa. मृत्युर्बुद्धिमतापोह्यो यावद्बुद्धिबलादयं बलोदयं यद्यसौ न निवर्तेत नापराधोऽस्ति देहिनः. As long as he has intelligence and bodily strength, an intelligent person must try to avoid death. This is the duty of every embodied person. But if death cannot be avoided in spite of one's endeavors, a person facing death commits no offense. प्रदायामृत्यवे पुत्रान् मोचये कृपणाम् इमां सुता मे यदि जायेरं मृत्युर्वा न म्रियेत चेत् विपर्ययो वा किं न स्यात् गतिर्धातुर्दुरत्यया उपस्थितो निवर्तेत निवृत्ता पुनरापतेत्. Vasudeva continued, by delivering all my sons to Kamsa, who is death personified, I shall save the life of Devaki. Perhaps Kamsa will die before my sons take birth, or since he is already destined to die at the hands of my son, one of my sons may kill him. For the time being, let me promise to hand over my sons to that Kamsa will, so that Kamsa will give up this immediate threat, and if in due course of time Kamsa dies, I shall have nothing to fear. अग्नेर्यथा दारुवियोगयोगयोर् अदृष्टतोऽन्यत् निमित्तमस्ति एवं हि जन्तोरपि दुर्विभाव्यः शरीरसंयोगवियोगहेतुः. When a fire, for some unseen reason, leaps over one piece of wood and sets fire to the next, the reason is destiny. Similarly, when a living being accepts one kind of body and leaves aside another, there is no other reason than unseen destiny. एवं विमृश्य तं पापं यावत् आत्मनि दर्शनं पूजयाम् आस वै सौरिर्बह बहुमान पुरःसरम्. After thus considering the matter as far as his knowledge would allow, Vasudeva submitted his proposal to the sinful Kamsa with great respect. Prasannavadanam bojo nusam sam nirapatrapam manasa duyamanena vihasan idam abravit. Vasudeva's mind was full of anxiety because his wife was facing danger. But in order to please the cruel, shameless, and sinful Kamsa, he externally smiled and spoke to him as follows. Shri Vasudev Uvacha Nahyasyaste Bhayam Saumya Yadvai Sahasariravak Putran Samarpayishyasya Yataste Bhayam Uthitam. Vasudeva said, O best of the sober, you have nothing to fear from your sister Devaki because of what you have heard from the unseen omen. The cause of death will be her sons. Therefore, I promise that when she gives birth to the sons from whom your fear has arisen, I shall deliver them all unto your hands. Shri Sukavacha Swasurvadan Nivavritte Kamsastadvakyasara Vasudevopitam Pritaha Prasasya Pravishad Graham. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued. Kamsa agreed to the logical arguments of Vasudeva, and having full faith in Vasudeva's words, he refrained from killing his sister. Vasudeva, being pleased with Kamsa, pacified him further and entered his own house. अतः काल उपावृत्ते देवकी सर्वदेवता पुत्रान् प्रसूषुवेचास्तौ कन्यां चैवानुवत्सरम्. Each year thereafter, in due course of time, Devaki, the mother of God, and all the demigods gave birth to a child. Thus she bore 8 sons, one after another, and a daughter named Shubhadra. Kirtimantam pratam Pratamajam Kamsayanaka Dundubihi Arpayam Asa Krichrena Sonrutad Ativihvalaha. Vasudeva was very much disturbed by fear of becoming a liar by breaking his promise. Thus, with great pain, he delivered his firstborn son named Kirtiman into the hands of Kamsa. किं दुःसहं नो साधूनां विदुषां किम् अपेक्षितं किम् अकार्यं कर कड कदर्यानां दुश्यजं किं धृतात्मनां. What is painful for saintly persons who strictly adhere to the truth? How could there not be independence for pure devotees who know the Supreme Lord as the substance? What deeds are forbidden for persons of the lowest character, and what cannot be given up for the sake of Lord Krishna by those who have fully surrendered at his lotus feet? धृत्वा समत्वं तच्छौरे सत्ये चैव व्यवस्थितिं कंसस्तुष्टमना राजन् प्रहसन् idam अब्रवीत्. My dear King Parikshit, when Kansa saw that Vasudeva, being situated in truthfulness, was completely equipoised in giving his child, he was very happy. Therefore, with a smiling face, he spoke as follows. प्रतियाति प्रतियातु कुमारोऽयं न हि अस्माद् अस्ति मे भयम् अष्टमाद् युवयोर्गर्भान् मृत्युर्मे विहितः किल. O Vasudeva, you may take back your child and go home. I have no fear of your first child. It is the eighth child of you and Devaki I am concerned with because that is the child by whom I am destined to be killed. तथेति सुतम् आदाय ययाव आनक दुन्दुभिः नाभ्यनन्दत तद्वाक्यम् असतो विजितात्मनः. Vasudeva agreed and took his child back home. But because Kamsa had no character and no self control, Vasudeva knew that he could not rely on Kamsa's word. नन्दाद्याये व्रजे गोपा याश्चामीषां च योषितः कृष्णयो वसुदेवाद्या देवक्याद्या यदु स्त्रियः सर्वे वै देवता प्राप्या उभयोरपि भारत ज्ञातयो बन्धुसुहृदो ये च कंस अनुव्रताः. The inhabitants of Vrindavana, headed by Nanda Maharaj and including his associate cowherd men and their wives, were none but denizens of the heavenly planets. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the descendants of Bharata, and so too were the descendants of the Vrishti dynasty headed by Vasudeva and Devaki and the other women of the dynasty of Yadu. The friends and relatives and well-wishers of both Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, and even those who externally appear to be followers of Kamsa, were all demigods. एतत् कंसाय भगवान् शशंसाभ्येत्ये नारदः भूमेर्भारायमाणानां दैत्यानां च वधोद्यमम्. Once the great saint Narada approached Kamsa and informed him of how the demonic persons who were of a great burden on the earth were going to be killed. Thus Kamsa was placed into great fear and doubt. ऋषे विनिर्गमे कंसो यदुन्मत्वा सुरान् इति देवक्या गर्भसम्भूतं विष्णुं च स्ववधं प्रति देवकीं वसुदेवं च निगृह्य निगडे जातं अहन् पुत्रं तयोरजय अजनसङ्कया. After the departure of the great saint Narada, Kamsa thought that all the members of Yadu dynasties were demigods and that any of the children born from the womb of Devaki might be Vishnu. Fearing his death, Kamsa arrested Vasudeva and Devaki and chained them with iron shackles. Suspecting each of the children to be Vishnu, Kamsa killed them one after another because of the prophecy that Vishnu would kill him. Mataram pitaram भ्रातॄन् भ्रात्रान् सर्वांश्च सुहृदस्तथा गृह्णन्ति हि असुतृप्तो लुब्धा राजानः प्रायशो भुवि. Kings, greedy for sense gratification on this earth, almost always kill their enemies indiscriminately. To satisfy their own whims, they may kill anyone, even their mothers, fathers, brothers, or friends. आत्मानम् इह सञ्जातं जानन् विष्णुना हतं महासुरं कालनेमिं यदुभिः स व्यरुध्यत. In his previous birth, Kamsa had been a great demon named Kalanemi and been killed by Vishnu. Upon learning this information from Narada, Kamsa became envious of everyone connected with the Yadu dynasty. Ugrasenam Chapitaram Yadu Bojandakadipam Swayam Nigrahya Bubuje Surasenam Mahabalaha. Kamsa, the most powerful son of Ugrasena, even imprisoned his own father, the king of the Yadu Bhoja and Andaka dynasties, and personally ruled the states known as Shurasena. Thus ends this chapter 1 from the Canto 10 entitled The Advent of Lord Krishna Introduction. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Okay. So let's make the best of this month, Kartik. And yeah, of course, we could even continue with the Canto 4. Why not? But yeah, as we are going to come across those festivals that are being celebrated in Kartika Mas, so let us also tune ourselves with going through the pastimes of the Lord in this Canto 10 going forward. Thank you so much for joining, and yeah, let us see tomorrow. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।